the Evergreen Media Network Studios, brought to you by Evergreen Media, creating cohesive marketing campaigns. Evergreen Media in Vero Beach.
Honestly, without Treasure Coast Community Health, I think we'd be a much poorer community in terms of our health. We're always striving to fill the gap for everyone in the community, rich or poor.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Community Conversations. I'm Vicki Soule, the CEO of Treasure Coast Community Health, and each week we have this half-hour slot to be able to bring individuals to you with news that you might not get otherwise. Maybe a little education, maybe it's about medical, dental, behavioral health, since we provide all of those for primary care services. But often, most often, we have community partners that we are involved with that help make this the paradise that we've all come to know and love. And today is no exception. With the United Day of Caring coming up, we have Stacy here to tell us a little bit more about it. Before we started, I asked Stacy, is this something that happens through many United Ways? And I'm not going to paraphrase. I'm going to let Stacy say hello and tell us a little bit more about the Day of Caring.
Okay, well, thank you for having me. I would love to talk about Day of Caring. It's one of my favorite topics. Yes, a lot of different United Ways have their own type of Day of Caring or Day of Sharing. They happen all throughout the year. It could be a single event, or it could be like ours, where it's multiple projects happening at the same time.
So if you've just migrated from another state or county, know that ours is coming up on October 21st.
That is correct. Saturday, October 21st.
So it's like right around the corner, a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about how it's done here and what opportunities there are.
So our Day of Caring is a huge event. This is our 28th year.
Wow.
So we're really excited about it. The local businesses, organizations, families, and teams, volunteers come together all on one day to put their skills together and give back to the community. So it's a county-wide event, and you don't have to be from Indian River County to participate.
Oh, there's an extra bonus. I know that Treasure Coast Community Health has both participated and been the recipient, oftentimes helping us improve our landscaping, because over the course of the summer, despite trying to supplement all of the rain, which this year we didn't have to do much of, I have to admit. Keeping things growing and looking nice, and the mulch wears down and all of that. So we've had a number of folks help us. One year we painted the wall outside of our little Fellsmere location to kind of brighten up that neighborhood. So we are very appreciative of the fact that, as my mom used to say, many hands make the work light. And that's really what it's all about.
It is. It is. We are really appreciative of all the people that come out on Day of Caring. So oftentimes our nonprofit organizations in our community don't have the manpower or the resources to do the things like spruce up their building, their gardening, create a place for kids to play, whatever that may be. So this is an opportunity for all the local community members to come together and to help them out, to make Indian River a better place.
And initially, the first time I volunteered, I think it was advertised at that time from 8:30 until 12:30. And I was so surprised that at 10:30, we were all looking at each other going, did we do everything we were supposed to? It seems like we're done. How could we be done already? But I think that often happens because it is such a wellspring of activity that even though we assume that we'll have teams of a certain size come out, oftentimes there's more, and what a wonderful blessing that is.
Yes. What we find is we'll count on a certain number of people and we'll get twice that amount, or maybe that amount. But that does happen where people are so happy to get involved and get out there and do the work that they're done before they know it.
Well, and the kids are allowed to come too. I understand there's probably waivers. I'm out of the loop. Tell us about that.
So anybody can volunteer. We encourage families, businesses, teams, individuals, anybody of any age. We have something for you. So we have 59 projects registered this year.
Wow.
Which is huge.
That is.
There are about 27 that are still open for volunteers, which if you want to volunteer, hurry up and get those registrations in. But for ages, as long as they have a parent with them or a guardian, if they're under 13 years old, they can come out. There's a waiver right on the registration form that they can fill out.
And where will they get the registration form? Is that part of the breakfast kickoff?
So the registration ends on the 13th.
Okay.
And it's through our website. So you would go to unitedwayirc.org/DOC. And on that page, which is right up on the screen, there is a place that says volunteer. Okay. And when you click that, it will bring you to our Day of Caring splash page. It'll show you all the projects in one place, and you can kind of look through them and see what's appropriate for you or your family or your team. We have projects that are inside, projects that are outside. There's gardening, mulching, painting. Treasure Coast Food Bank is looking for more volunteers to help package holiday food boxes. And Habitat for Humanity actually has a construction site, which you would not be using heavy machinery, just assisting at the site. So there's something for everyone.
Yeah, I know that when I first started encouraging our employees to come, there were a few that said, I just can't do the heat. I can't be outside, or, my foot is in a boot right now from an accident, But you're right that, every year there's such a difference of requests that it's hard not to find something that you would not only be able to do, but like doing for a couple of hours.
Right.
And the crew is tremendous because it gives you an opportunity then to meet other people or bring your own friends and family so you know everybody on your crew.
That is right. We have families that volunteer. They bring their friends. And the hope is that when you volunteer for these different organizations, that you might find a place that you might want to affiliate with and become a volunteer for them. Indian River County, as most places, always needs volunteers. So it's a great way to segue into volunteering.
And even if you don't see yourself volunteering for that organization, I found in the chatter that we have as we're conducting this offering, as it were, a lot about the organization. There's usually a couple of people there that know a lot about it and can answer questions. And so even if you find out that it's not where you want to put your volunteer hours, that you know more about it. And so when people talk about in the community, you have a better sense of the community that you live in. And so we tend to rotate as volunteers among a lot of different places, even though we probably each have our own personal favorites.
That is true. We have volunteers that will call and say, I've always done the same project every year, and that's okay. Or we'll have volunteers that call and say, I really want to rotate, as you said, to different projects. It's a great way to get to know Indian River County.
Do you know which ones are open right now? You said about half of them.
There's 27 open.
Okay, so never mind.
I actually started to write that out, and I thought that's going to take too long.
Yeah.
So, but there are 27 projects still open. Have a look and see, and you can also call the office and ask for me, and I can walk you through the process.
That's wonderful. So tell us where the kickoff breakfast is this year, because it seems since we've had COVID, we're sort of on a rotating mission here.
So this year it's a little bit different. Our kickoff is at the Jackie Robinson Training Complex.
That is different.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We start the day with a welcome, some announcements. We have a complimentary breakfast from McDonald's, Natalie's Juices.
Nice.
The event is sponsored by Publix. We have an opening, a morning stretch by TBLB Fitness, and the Vero Beach High School band and cheer will be there. So basically what we're doing is we're having a mini pep rally. Yep, it's a pep rally. We get you all fueled up, all excited. We offer you some coffee, get that caffeine in, and at about 8:45, we send you off to your projects.
Okay.
And
so when do the doors open?
Doors open at 8 o'clock. So the event actually starts. Let me rephrase that. The event starts at 8 o'clock. So if you want to get there early, about 7:45, 7:30, that would be beneficial. We'll have an information table there in case you forgot where you're going.
Okay.
Or you registered late. We'll also have a T-shirt table there to pick up your T-shirts.
Forgot to mention that. If you register, you get a free T-shirt.
That is correct.
It says Live United.
It is the same T-shirt that we had last year. It's the heart logo that says Day of Caring. It'll be a different color, which will be a surprise to everybody.
That's nice.
Just like on the screen. We will also offer T-shirt pickup at our office the week before. So we'll get that information out to everybody soon.
Okay, that's great. Now, you mentioned Jackie Robinson Training Complex, like we all know where it is and how to get in there. Can you fill in some blanks for people who might not know about that training complex?
I actually don't know the address off the top of my head, but it is in Vero Beach. And it is on our website. It's on the registration page. When you register, you'll get that information. We'll also be sending out volunteer guides and leader guides ahead of time to give you everything that we just talked about in a nutshell.
Wonderful. So I'll fill in the blanks until the real deal comes through. It's off of Aviation Boulevard between 27th and 43rd.
Thank you.
Okay, it's on the south side of the street. And I'm sure there'll be a ton of signage because you guys are excellent at doing that.
Yes.
There's plenty of parking there. So that, again, plan to arrive about 7:45, 8 o'clock. So you can check in and find your group and get your breakfast so that you can then pay attention to the cheerleaders and the marching band and really be a part of it. It's a great time.
It is a lot of fun.
Well, thank you very much for bringing us that information. We're going to take a short break for our sponsors, and then when we come back, we'll talk about some of the other things that United Way has underfoot right now.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Treasure Coast Community Health in-house pharmacies have the lowest prices in Indian River County, even lower than big box pharmacies. Taking your medication as prescribed leads to better health. Affordable medicine makes it easier. Treasure Coast Community Health patients can pick up medicine as they leave the office or use free delivery and mail order services. Pharmacists are always available to answer questions. Switch to TCCH pharmacies. Save money, stay healthy. 772-257-8224 and ask about our price match.
As time goes by, our parents naturally need a little extra support with their day-to-day tasks and personal care. Visiting Angels offers many services, including medication reminders, meal preparation, light housekeeping, or even quality companionship. Our experienced caregivers at Visiting Angels provide your loved one the opportunity to stay safely in the comfort of their home. Have peace of mind knowing your loved ones are in the best hands. Visiting Angels, Senior Home Care by Angels. Visit tcoastangels.com.
If you dream of creating a home with furniture where you make life one long weekend, visit Sunshine Furniture now and save 50% on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington during the fall savings event. Bedroom, living, and dining room, home office, media, and occasional furniture that is inviting and comfortable, Tommy Bahama and Lexington offer everything you need to furnish your Florida home. We're also having a huge half-price fall sale on lots of other coastal furniture by Universal, Hooker, Riverside, Seawinds, and Capri, including big sales on patio furniture by Berlin Gardens, Lloyd Flanders, Telescope, Kingsley Bait, and Windward. All pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price, and in-stock rugs are on sale too. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and be sure to shop our outlet store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
And welcome back to Community Conversations. If you're just joining us, my name is Vicki Soule, and I'm the host week after week for some amazing guests who bring us more information. Even if you live here for 20, 25 years, as I have, it just never ceases to amaze me, all the things that go on in our wonderful community. And so today I've got Stacy here from the United Way. We've talked about their upcoming Day of Caring, which is October 21st. And so if you are just joining us, please go to their website and take a look at Day of Caring. I was going to say /dot because I actually remembered that, but that's not it. Give us the website.
So you would go to unitedwayirc.org /DOC. and scroll down the page, and you could click on volunteer. That will take you to our splash page, and you'll get to see all the projects in one place.
So it's a wonderful time. We get up and start going early before the heat bothers us. If you have a great crew that are very motivated to go out to breakfast afterwards, as my crew often is, you might find yourself done by 10 or 10:30. The other thing I wanted to say, though, is don't wear yourself out. Take your afternoon nap on Saturday, because on Sunday, Treasure Coast Community Health is going to have the Great Duck Derby for the 11th time over at Captain Hiram's in Sebastian. And we won't start until 12-ish. The ducks go in the water between 2:30 and 3. So again, if you have not purchased your duck, adopted your duck, helped us out with a $5 donation, all in the interest of fun and helping women and children's programs, please do that. Go to our website, TCCH INC, and you will find that we have a little click there for the Great Duck Derby. And we have a new mascot this year. We have Donnie the Duck. He's younger, more hip, slimmer than our existing duck, because, again, things change over time, and yet that's a great, fun family event that we'd like to invite everyone to come to. Captain Hiram's is a great host out on the sandbar. So there's food, there's dancing, there's playing in the water right at the edge for your children. And then, of course, we're going to be putting 7,500 5-inch rubber ducks into the water to race to shore. And in addition to our traditional first, second, and third place winners of 1,000, 500, and 250, we'll also have a 50-50. But the best part is, because we're celebrating our 30th anniversary as a federally qualified health center in Indian River County, one duck, if it's matching the number, and we don't know what it is, if that duck comes in first place this year, that duck will have its owner have $30,000 as their cash prize. Much better odds than going to the lottery, even though the lottery seems to expand. So are we. We're filling the gaps in healthcare in our community, and there's lots of testimonials from folks, rich and poor, that attest to the quality of our services. So enough for me. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about how last year went, and I started to ask you if there were any really outstanding projects, and your answer to me was?
They were all great. The whole day of caring last year was wonderful. This is my third day of caring since I've worked for United Way. The first day of caring that I was here was canceled due to COVID. Mm-hmm. And the year before that was canceled. So last year was my first real experience with submerged in the day of caring event. And it was way bigger than I anticipated.
There were like 1,000 people that came out for breakfast, as I recall.
We were just short of 1,000 volunteers through the whole day.
Okay.
It was huge. And the outpouring of love and support and excitement was phenomenal. So I can't wait to see what we do this year.
Well, and talking about seeing, you said last year a lot of people submitted pictures. I take it you'd like that to happen again.
Yes.
So take your phone, your camera, whatever. Click a few of you and your friends as you're doing or at the completion of your project, because we all love to see happy grins.
That we would love. We would love to have all your pictures during, after, your team photos. We do have a hashtag that will be set up for the day.
Okay.
You can also email them directly to me, which is what most people tend to do. And then we put them all together. And after the event, our marketing coordinator will share that out, and everybody can see what they've done. That's great.
Now, earlier in the show, you mentioned that sometimes by going to a Day of Caring event at a particular location, you might engage with that further on past the Day of Caring to do other volunteer work. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that coordination. What is that called that you guys help support? Volunteer
Indian River County.
Okay.
Yes. So that we've managed Volunteer Indian River County as a volunteer platform for quite some time. And we just kind of gave it an upgrade this year through a platform called Golden Volunteer, which is actually what we're using for Day of Caring as well.
Huh?
So you can go to our United Way webpage, and there's a button right across the top that says volunteer or I want to volunteer.
Okay.
That will take you to Volunteer Indian River County. And really, it's a connections page. It's a place for organizations who have needs for volunteers and for people in the community who'd like to volunteer to connect with each other.
So if you click the button that says, I would like to volunteer, you're not putting your signature in cement. It's an opportunity to look and see what volunteer opportunities there are.
Yes.
There's probably others, folks that don't know about the volunteer platform, but lots of folks do. And so does it describe a little bit about what the volunteer would do?
Yes, it's very similar to what our Day of Caring splash page will look like. An organization can go in there and register their need, put their own pictures, their own descriptions. So you would actually see everything. You would click on it, and it would be unique to that organization. So you would have the opportunity to choose what you want to do. You can choose multiple things if you'd like to.
Well, and there are folks who really look forward to retirement, and they have plans made for a couple of months afterwards. But I do notice that a lot of my friends and former colleagues, after a few months, are going, God, I'm so bored. What can I do? And the reality is lots of nonprofits in this community are struggling for additional manpower. So even an hour or two really helps a lot. It's not to replace workers that are there, but to do the extra things that our regular worker staff it just can't get accomplished.
That is true. The need for volunteers is across the board. It's everywhere. It's not just in our county. A lot of organizations have issues with not only signing up volunteers, but retaining volunteers. So this is an investment for us, for the community, to help make that happen.
Yeah, the reality is, a lot of people will say, I'm just too busy. On the flip side, those that are still working. But I guarantee you, you carve an hour out, and it's so gratifying that you will come back. And there's lots of great organizations with a lot of very different needs that I hope that this takes, as they call it. Okay. And one of your most fantastic, I almost said popular, but I'm not sure that that's true. One of the most fantastic things that you all do for our community is having the VITA program, the Volunteer in Tax Assistance?
Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. So that's our VITA program. I actually spearhead that program. It's my other favorite thing besides Day of Caring. I can't say enough good things about VITA. It is a completely 100% volunteer-run program. All of our volunteers are IRS trained and IRS certified.
Do they have to be IRS trained ahead of volunteering for you, or is some training offered through this?
We provide all the training.
So as long as you like math and working with people, sounds like the two criteria?
Right. Well, not necessarily liking math, but that does help.
Okay.
Computer literate, yes, that's a good thing. But liking people and helping people is really the number one.
And so with income tax starting after the first of the year and it now being early October, should they be looking to consider and sign up within the next month?
We are kicking off our recruitment process right now. So if you're interested in volunteering, you don't have to be a tax preparer. We have room for greeters, for receptionists, for tax preparers, and we provide all the training. Again, we do this as an investment to our volunteers and to the community. And it's a fabulous program. We have volunteers that have been doing this for upwards of 15 years.
Yeah, when you think about someone who's not working regularly, the idea of having to pay someone to file your taxes, that's tough. So thank you very much for all the services that you and your other colleagues at the United Way do. And we really appreciate you being here and sharing that with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
And thank you for being part of our weekly listening audience. Next week, we will have someone from a different venue. I'm not going to give it away, but log in again on your radio at 4:30 on Saturday, and have a really good evening. Bye-bye.